We've always known that food affects our health. Too much fatty food will give you heart disease. Too little calcium will give you osteoporosis. But what food can prevent or even cure disease?
Whenever something goes wrong in our bodies, we tend to turn to medicine or surgery. But according to Melanie Stephens from the College of Naturopathic Medicine, there is another way. Good morning, Melanie.
Good morning.
Now, I was just saying to you in the break that I always thought like our DNA was our destiny. So to say you had a very strong line of cancer in the family, that you would have to maybe, if it was breast cancer, have a mastectomy prior to it coming on. But you're saying that we can maybe alter our destiny slightly or affect it, put ourselves more in control of our health simply by the means of our diet.
Absolutely. To a larger extent, our DNA is our destiny, but we are beginning to see that this isn't always the case. Every day we are interacting with our environment and we are slightly altering our DNA, either in a positive or a negative way. So
our DNA is changing?
Constantly, and it all depends. It all depends on how well we can repair our DNA and keep it all healthy and actually replicate proper cells, healthy cells. So if there's a problem with our DNA, then we can develop disease. We also need triggers to set off disease, and bad diet and bad lifestyle habits is one of those humongous triggers that can set off disease.
OK, when we say bad diet, what are we talking about? I know this is grand, we go over again and again, but...
Absolutely. We're talking about refined foods, not enough nutritional value in the foods, not enough fibre, too many bad, caffeine, things like that.
And you've brought some samples here.
I have indeed.
We can see the bad foods if you want to talk us through some of them, I mean.
Yep, absolutely. So we have there refined carbohydrates, your white bread, white chips. We have a scone, a white scone, and some cake.
Ah, the poor old scone. One every now and again.
That's what I was going to say.
Probably
what
not
about
so
the
bad.
adage of everything in moderation?
Oh, well, of course, but there is...
Or are you saying never?
If you make it yourself, absolutely, because you know what's going in there. A lot of times with food, you're not just getting your flour and your eggs and your sugar, you're also getting artificial sugars, you're getting artificial additives, you're getting a whole lot of junk in there that's... It's going to deplete nutrients from your body.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the good stuff's there as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, I mean, some of the diseases associated with poor diet, we all know. I mean, we could be here for a few hours discussing diseases that are associated with poor diet, poor lifestyle choices.
But the main ones, Melanie, would be?
Main ones, osteoarthritis, heart disease, mood disorders, osteoporosis, some really well-known ones. Also cardiovascular disease or heart disease. These are really well-known.
Yeah, that's the one you can really change, can't you, with your diet?
Absolutely, yeah. And most people don't associate ill health with their diet. They just think, well, it's probably our DNA. Hey, my mother had diabetes, so I've got diabetes. What they really should be saying is, well, my mother had diabetes. What can I do to prevent myself from developing that? Once you have a disorder, it can get a bit harder to turn that around. And we're not saying you don't need pharmaceutical or surgical intervention at times, but you will definitely need to also take a look at what you're eating and say to yourself, why do I feel so bad? Why do I have this disorder? What have I been eating? What have I been thinking? How much stress have I been under? Have I been doing enough exercise? These are things that people should start thinking about, taking control of their health and taking responsibility of their health instead of saying, hey, I'm sick, give me a drug. So
are we also saying that there are superfoods, if we can call them that, out there that will help?
Absolutely.
Keep your system tip-top. And what are some of the examples then of superfoods?
Well, fresh fruits and vegetables are all superfoods. But in particular, you've got things like blueberries, strawberries, broccoli, cauliflower. These are great superfoods. We've also got things like the good old garlic. Most people forget about the humble garlic and they just think about their breath. But if you eat garlic regularly, you won't have a problem with garlic breath, so you don't need to worry about that. But this is going to be great for your heart, lower your cholesterol levels, a potent antioxidant, and can help to repair your DNA. This is fantastic. Superfood.
And how much of that would you recommend people have every day?
Well, 1 to 2 cloves a day. If you are on blood-thinning medications, you might want to talk to your doctor first before having that thrown around. Talk to your doctor before, because it can actually thin the blood a little bit.
And then does it have to be fresh? You know the way you can go into Boots, you go into a chemist and there's garlic tablets. Does that work the way that works?
Absolutely not. No, because as soon as you dry out garlic, you lose a lot of the phytochemicals, you lose a lot of the goodness. They will still be beneficial, but garlic tastes great. Why would you want to take a tablet when you can eat it?
I'm a fiend for garlic.
And what about just putting it into a stew or something?
Absolutely.
Just grate it in or crush it in.
Absolutely, and at the end of the dish, throw it through. Try not to cook it too long because you lose phytochemicals. So.
Okay, so if we're looking at here factors from that result from a poor diet and bad exercise and everything else.
Yeah, basically what we're looking at is factors that, or nutritional factors that can contribute to disease. And then we can look at what we can do about these factors.
Okay.
First, it's poor cellular health. And most people consider their body as being one single entity. But for a moment, think of your body as millions and millions of little cells. And these little cells are like little machines. If these machines are functioning appropriately, then you'll be healthy. If these machines start to break down or aren't working as well as they should, then you will be unhealthy. You will develop disease. So basically, our cells are turning over every day. Your body 10 years ago had pretty much all the cells in your body 10 years ago had been turned over. You're almost like you're in a new body now, which is amazing.
Really?
Absolutely. You've got to ask yourself, what is making these new cells? And what's making these new cells is the food that we put in our mouth. So what's going into your mouth isn't automatically coming out the other end. It's actually building our body, which is amazing.
Right. Good, solid blocks. We've got to wrap it there. We're going to leave it there. You'll come back to us soon, Melanie, will you? There's fascinating stuff. I mean, everyone loves the stuff that you come in to talk about.
Absolutely.
It's brilliant.
Because we all know what's good for us. But the fact that what we eat could stop us maybe developing cancer or developing osteoporosis, that does give you cause to maybe pay more attention to your diet.
Absolutely, it does indeed.
Melanie, thank you as always.
Thank you.